Greetings, the Astro 30 here, yet again with something that I'm hopefully going to be able to repair on the channel. I've got this Integra DTR-5.4 and I bought it from the South Hobart tip shop for $15, and the complaint is apparently no sound, which could be one of various different things. So looking at the front panel here, we've got a record out, a zone 2, that's obviously for extension amplifier, headphone sockets off, I'm assuming that's for that, the level of the zone I guess. Down here we've got audio selector, not sure exactly what that does, DVD, video 1, video 2, video 3 and video 4. Everyone's into videos these days. We've also got a tape, a tuner and a CD input, and that looks like an optical input just there. A direct button, stereo, surround, DSP, memory and FM mode. So I'm assuming this actually has a receiver built into it. Yes, it does. Over here we've got the video 4 input. We've got S and composite in the left and right. The master volume control, which is a rotary encoder. We've got these menu buttons here. That's mainly for tuning by the looks of things, and that's for searching. And an enter button. Nice. Up here we got audio adjust, setup, which I'm assuming is menu, and return to get out of the menu. It's certainly a fairly interesting looking piece. However, let's have a quick look at what's on the back panel. So on the back here we've got all the analog inputs and outputs. I'm not sure what this purpose of this tape is, but okay, that's around the FM antenna socket. And we've got an RS232 connector here as well as a remote control 3.5 jack, a DC 24 volt 1 amp input, there's zone 2 out, a bunch of infrared out stuff, triggered out 12 volts A and B. Yeah, not sure what all of those do. And the outputs are these annoying screw terminal connectors, which my Sony amplifier has similar ones to. It's very awkward to get the wire to behave itself down in the slot and get a good connection. So anyway, we've got the zone 2 speakers output, got the front speakers output, left and right. I'm assuming that's left, that's right. Yes, it's marked L. Surround speakers, which would be the rear ones I guess, left and right, and the center speaker output. We've got a subwoofer output here and the zone 2 left and right audio outputs. Over here we've got our AC input, which is just an IEC cable, like a computer cable, kettle cable. It just doesn't have its earth pin, but that type of plug will fit in there just fine. And we've got a switched AC outlet, 230 to 240 volt, 50 hertz, 100 watts max. So these sort of things you can connect up to your, I don't know, your tape deck, your CD player, and turn it off with the amplifier. Okay, so first things first, I should do some preliminary tests, like make sure it powers up, it's not drawing too much current from the power line, etc. And just verify the complaint. Alright, I've got the dim bulb set up, it's not currently turned on, but we're going to turn it on now and see if the thing will power up. No unusual current draw there. Okay, I've got a similar issue with one of the other amplifiers I looked at doing the same thing, because it's drawing quite a bit of current. The globe here is the wrong wattage. So I'm going to safely assume that I can plug it into the wall. And hopefully nothing goes terribly wrong. Right, so if this blows the fuse, I'm going to be annoyed and have to go out and get some fuse wire. So I'll just move my power board over a bit. Sounded alright. And it's powered up. and there went a protection relay. So we have a reasonably bright display, and the rotary encoder for the volume appears to be functioning quite normally, so it's not erratic. That's a good sign. So what I need to do is I need to hook up the multimeter to one of the outputs and see what sort of DC offset we've got. So on the left channel output, the front, not much at all. I'm assuming that's making good contact. Yeah, it seems to be alright. I've got them jammed in there and I cannot see anything unusual as for DC offset. So, turn it off a minute. Now I need to verify that there is no sound coming through the amplification stages to the output. And then it will be just a matter of taking the top off. Alright, I've got the scope set up on the left hand channel output on a dummy load with a signal source going into both the left and right channels of the CD inputs. So I'm going to turn the amplifier on. And there we go, turn the volume up. Absolutely nothing. Oh wait. Whoa. We do have a signal, but it's weak. Just change that down. It goes weird. Whoa. Okay. According to that, we're pushing about 30, 31, 40, 47 odd volt peak to peak. But then it just goes weird. Like it's starting to oscillate. Okay, let me check the right hand channel now. Right hand channel is hooked up. Volume is at minimum. Yeah, we definitely have a signal there. I'm in the timestamp probe, I just don't know why it's doing that. But we are on this channel pushing out at least 50 volt peak to peak. Yeah, so we have got an output, and I know it's safe to hook to a speaker, so I might actually hook it to a speaker. Right, well I've got it hooked to the TX speaker and I can't hear any unusual noise that's coming out of it. In fact, I can't hear anything now. Duh, that's because I forgot to connect the speaker lead to the output. No sound my ass. That's, well, they must have been testing it wrong and it must have been in stereo mode, so they weren't getting anything out of the surround outputs, maybe. I don't know, but this appears to work. Apart from that nasty oscillation we get when it's at full volume, but then again, you're not really supposed to run these things at full volume. I mean, at 55, even 50, that 1 kilohertz tone is annoying. So, alright, I'll switch to the left channel. I mean, it's a very quiet amplifier. I can't even hear a hiss coming out the speaker. Oh. Nope, it's amplifying. Yeah. Okay, so there appears to be nothing wrong with this. Alright, I've changed to the 100 Hz range now. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm getting an output, so I don't know what to tell you. However, I am going to take the top off of it and we're going to have a look inside. For some reason I was having an issue with the camera's autofocus. Anyway, just before I do that, that's the calculated output power, which is around 40 watts RMS. So it's not really the highest of powered amplifiers. I'm not sure what the actual specifications of this amplifier is. I'll have to look them up. According to this, it's supposed to be 100 watt per channel on the front, 100 watt on the center output, and 100 watt on the two surround outputs. Well, we're not quite getting to that power, so there might still be an issue. But the total harmonic distortion is pretty good at 0.08%. Now, don't do what I'm about to do. This unit is still plugged in. See, that was easy. So here's a look at the insides. They've got their own Integra brand power transformer, and that's a monster of a transformer, by the way. Remember, this is still plugged in, so this side will still be live. Well, actually, that's switched from the standby board, but I want to keep my fingers well away from the standby board, which is all the way up here. This looks like some form of daughter board, maybe for the power amplifiers. Not 100% sure. There's all the output stage transistors along here, and these are thermal detection or something here for the heatsink temperature, just to, you know, cut the speakers when it overheats. It's standard push-pull class AB design, discrete output stage with a few little transistors here and there and some adjustment pots. Obviously, I'm assuming that's for the bias. Over here looks like the DSP or DTS board. Bunch of regulators here. There's not much else to see in here. We've got a bunch of analog boards that go into this board, so that's must be for the you know, 5.1, 5.4, whatever they want to call it, surround sound processing. Other than that, there's not much else in here. I mean, the power supply is buried over there with some two large filter caps. We've got the FM receiver module here, or the radio receiver module here, which also connects to the DTS board or DSP board. I'm just going to call it DSP from now on. And there's a front panel board here for all the controls, which is not really that interesting to look at. Although the rotary encoder itself is kind of interesting. It has its own removable separate PCB. It's not connected to the front panel. So you can actually, if you have to replace this encoder, or in my case I service them by cleaning them, you just pop a screw out, pull the knob off at the front, probably undo a nut, and then push this clip back and pull the board out and fix your problem. Nice. So that being said, does the amplifier actually have an issue where it's not producing the correct amount of power? This, I don't know. So I'm going to have to measure it again and just make 100% sure that, well, what I'm seeing on the scope is correct. Yeah, so I don't know why it's doing that. It's actually distorting into the load resistors, but it's not actually doing anything physical here. So that's the problem though, I can't actually get this to clipping. So yeah, I'm not sure why that signal's breaking up like that. What I might do is I might try and isolate that by using my mini portable oscillator rather than the scopes, because there may be a grounding argument issue here. Alright, mini oscillator is connected. I don't know what frequency it's set at. Turn the volume up. Got a signal. Looks like we're at about 500 Hertz. So let me just bring that up as close to a kilohertz as I can. I mean, there it looks a bit triangular, but no, that one seems to actually function a lot better. And we had 87 odd volt peak to peak there, so I'll just increase the amplitude of my oscillator. There we go. Yeah, so the output of the inbuilt oscillator was interfering with the circuitry of the amplifier, probably because the two ground points are shared, like on the oscilloscope probe and on the actual BNC socket of the generator, so it usually is a better idea to have a separate generator. So what I want to do is I want to back that off. I want to find clipping, which is there. Back it off. So 85, I'm going to say 86 volt peak to peak. Alright. Now that is a much better power measurement. That's 115 watts RMS. So yeah, that's more than capable of going over its specifications. So now I just need to check all the rest of the outputs to make sure that the output level is the same. Okay, the right hand channel's hooked up. Turn the amplifier back on. There we go. Oh, yeah, most definitely. 80, yeah, about 86 volt peak to peak. Perfect. Okay, I've got the thing in surround mode now, and I'm using the analog inputs for the front, the rear, and etc. So it won't work on the CD input. So rotate the volume up. That's on the right hand channel. We've got almost the same voltage output. Okay, that's working fine. So I know the fronts work, so I'll go for the rears now. Right, I believe I've got that hooked up right. Rotate the volume. Okay, nothing. Right. That's because it's still in stereo mode. Didn't remember it was in Prologic mode. Try that again. Still nothing. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, figured it out. Alrighty. About the same voltage. Nice. That channel's working. Check the right hand side. Okay. There we go. Yeah, same voltage. Alright, let's check the center. I hope I'm not boring you guys. The center channel is hooked up now. Indeed, we have an output which is probably slightly less than the others, but yep, all those 4 channels are producing 100 watts each. I've just noticed that this thing does not have a removable bottom panel to service, well, the power amplifier module if you had to do servicing on the solder joints, and the actual power supply board and standby section is actually connected to the same board. So you'd have to pull half the amplifier apart to get anything out, but luckily I don't have to do that. So what I want to do is I'm going to measure both channels on the front left and right outputs together into a load to just see what the difference is in when both channels are driven and if they're even. So I'll turn the volume up. There's a signal. Right. There's a little bit of a difference. It's 83 volts peak to peak on the left compared to 81 odd on the right. So there's a slight imbalance. Yeah, it works. Alright, so what am I going to do with the thing? I don't know. I might put it back together for now, but I might actually take it apart one day again later and just dust it out and then flog it off to somebody who wants it. It seems to work okay for what it is. However, I might put some speakers on it and an audio source and just, you know, give it a bit of a sound test before we close this video. Okay.
Crazy dreaming.
don't seem to get much decent volume out of it until you're around about the 50% mark. Oh well, but it does work. Okay. Here the AM radio works. Well, it's making a noise. Well, FM works. I found the bass and treble too. Okay, well, it works, so I'm going to leave this video here. Hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please remember to leave a comment and a like below. And consider subscribing if you haven't done so. Anyway, this is the Astro 30 saying see ya. Have a great day.